Hello everyone, and what is going on? Hyperion-Blue-GT here. A brand new update on Gran Turismo 7 is out now. Version 1.38. 3 new cars is now going to be featured to have 2 Hondas and a Mazda. And even of course to have a reminder after the last month update is now yet to be available by having 2 Toyota cars is now at Brand Central. So let's have a good check and go on to the detail for having a one good interesting surprise. But I know this is definitely might be quite very good to have a bad news moment, but this will be having a good news for the update because of the Honda Civic as a tuned vehicle. But maybe perhaps this might have a very good excellent opportunity to have a good explain on the details. But now it's about to go back to have a nice official GT7 background after from the last update is now putting up with some changes. So perhaps maybe I'll have to take a good look and proceed on to the world map without any explain on to the details. So let's go and visit at Brand Central because 3 cars and 2 implemented vehicles is now being officially to be available at this call. So let's go over onto America, and we have ourselves is a new brand in America known as the Garage RCR. Let's have a good check, and this will be quite very good to have a single Honda Civic is now being shown on the showroom. Headquarters is now being located at Tempe, Arizona, USA. Established in 2020. The founder is Philip Robies and Jesse Robies. So very awesome to see that Honda Civic is now actually to becoming a fully tuned professional vehicle, which is definitely to be known as a SEMA Gran Turismo reward. But the price is actually to be at 300,000 credits is now being available to be registered to the car index. Displacement that does not shows drivetrain is FF layout 389 horsepower / 7500 RPM. Aspiration type is turbocharged. This one is much more fine perfection to see a tuned version to the EG Honda Civic, but somehow that you guys might be preferred to have a road going version to this car, but all I have to say this, but that one is much more tuner hatchback car is becoming much very amazing. So no sign of the title on the base color, so gonna learn the details about the Garage RCR Civic. This Garage RCR Civic is a finely tuned mod of the EG Civic, a popular Japanese hot hatch from the 1990s. Garage RCR is a body shop located in Phoenix, Arizona. They specialize in fitting Pendum wide body kits and other Japanese tuning parts to cars. This car is, without a doubt, a JDM custom hero. Powered by a swap-in 2.4-liter K-Series engine with turbo, it can deliver 400 horsepower and revs like a dream. In 2017, it took home the Gran Turismo award at SEMA, the world's largest custom car show. Very nice. Very good detail about the RCR Civic, but as we may call it, the Honda Civic EG model. But I'll have to purchase and add it to the car index to be registered and being stored in. But don't worry folks, because the detail about the update will be putting up to have a cover up to be explained about some new features and adding up with some car collection. So 300 collector points, still at level 50 to go maximum as we have to keep collecting with some more cars throughout in GT7. But I can't wait to test this baby out. This will be very much more fun to be amazed. So next up, head over on Asia. Next up, head over to Asia Pacific to have some 3 highlights for brand new. So I might gonna have to be preferred to have some car collection before we're gonna have to take one last stop on Toyota. Then let's go to Honda and that what might have a brand new Civic Type R 2022 model is now being available to be highlighted as new. But take a good look at this model, you guys. Codenamed to be known as the FF5, which is actually to be as a true successor from the FK8 model as the Civic Type R Limited Edition 2020. But very good, excellent to have a nice 4-door hatchback is quite very good to be amazed to see this brand new model. Displacement is 1995cc drivetrain FF, 325 horsepower / 6,500 RPM. Aspiration type is turbocharged. Drivetrain is always to have a FF layout, but the price is very much more decent good to have. 50,000 credits to be available will be added to the car index, and by the look of it, 529.55 performance points. This looks so very good and much more capable to be challenging with other all-wheel drive cars. 5 colors are now being included by the selection. There's Championship White, Sonic Gray Pearl, Crystal Black Pearl, Racing Blue Pearl, and Flame Red. Alright, looks like Championship White is a very good best of the color selection for having one Honda Civic Type R in the FF5 model. So gonna have to learn the details about the FF5 Civic. If you like sports cars at all, you can't help but get excited at the unveiling on the new Honda Type R. I actually got to test drive it, the predecessor of this model, the FK8 Civic Type R. The track was a high-speed, winding road with sharp corners that seemed to distort my field of vision. But in spite of the strong vertical and lateral G's, I was able to brake hard into each corner with ease. I remember thinking to myself, wow, the Honda Civic Type R is really next level stuff. But just when I thought the Civic Type R had hit its peak, out came this FL5, which far surpassed the FK8, both technically and in terms of driving experience. So brand new, just like the FK8, but this 2022 model is very good to be brand new to this day. Civic Type R always being popular to be having a good place to be here on Honda. Gonna buy 50,000 credits. One brand new vehicle just like the FK8 is always meant to be having some different changes and go by the update by having a brand new type of the chassis. But there is also to have a GT500 spec version to this car is actually to becoming much more fine true successor after years from the NSX experience from Japan Grand Touring Car Championship to the Super GT season. Gonna save car number 2 later on, and then let's go to Mazda to have a brand new addition to the Group 4 category after the Atenza in the same Group 4 class. But not to mention, as you may ever see from the articles from GT Planet, because the Mazda 3 is now actually to become as a Group 4. So gonna have to go over and cursor around, and here it is, the Mazda 3 Group 4, 635.9 performance point, displacement that does not shows because it is also to be as a FF drivetrain layout, 380 horsepower / 7,000 RPM. Aspiration is turbocharged. Car price along with the other Group 4 car is now being stated at 350,000 credits. But there is also to have to include with some variation exclusive to have the official, and even of course to have the alternate variant is now being included. So this one is the Mazda Spirit Racing in the white color, and this one is the original. So I'll have to choose this one because the white color is brand new along with the others are now being related to have the original part of the variation. Learn more details about the Mazda 3 Group 4. This Group 4 race car is based on the Mazda 3. It was built to compete in the Super Taiyaku Series, one of Japan's most popular events for production touring cars. Small but stylish, its swan neck rear spoiler is among its many design highlights. Fascinating. So fascinating, and this one might be considered as a Japanese touring car, but look at the wing spoiler is now being shown on the rear. Looks so fantastic, but I'll have to test this out and see how it goes for having a one practice session to have Group 4 category will put into a test. So that's car number 3 to be acquired. So I guess gonna have to take a good stop by and look around to have some new addition on the Mazda RX-Vision GT3 concept and of course the Roadster NRA and D model. But additionally, this one might become seen to have a white variation along with the original. But differences is now being put up to have the same livery and different color styles. But that's not all. The RX Vision GT3 concept has now been additionally to be added as well. See the difference? But differences is now putting up to have a Michelin Pilot Sport tire sticker is now being actually to be added up and go expanded by making some new variation in the brand central. So let's go and proceed to be stopped by at Toyota before moving on to have a good look on the scapes. But good thing the Toyota Hyperion Ambulance and GR Colora is now being partially to be available. So let's have a good check and go over the details on the GR Colora Moriso Edition 2022. The GR Colora is an exceptional sports car created by the enthusiast folks at Toyota Gazoo Racing. And with the Moriso Edition, it became meaner, ready for the track, so to speak. Moriso is the racing alias of Akio Toyoda, Toyota's president at the time of this model's debut. Toyoda now serves as Toyota's master driver and plays an active role in the company's motorsport program. From its strong yet lightweight body to its scope-up engine and transmission, this one finely tuned machine. But this price is now being initially to be revealed as 71,500 credits to be available for those who don't get this one after completing in the prediction campaign from the GTWS Showdown in Amsterdam. Maybe I'll have to take a good check, and almost forgot one other thing about the Toyota Hyperion 2021, but this one is very good to be available for free that you guys might get to get this before taking your first visit at Brand Central. But the livery that's not shown because this one is actually to become seen for free of charge. So what do you guys think? Can you get this ambulance for free to put up to have a nice custom race? Let's learn more about the details on the Hyperion. The Toyota Hyperion is one of Japan's most iconic ambulances. Not only does it transport sick and injured people to the hospital, but it is also fitted with a bevy of medical devices necessarily for saving lives. This allows first responders to perform an essential medical procedures while en route to the ER. For this reason, the vehicle is sometimes referred to as a high-standard ambulance. Toyota's first Hyperion made its debut in 1992 and was first ambulance of its kind in Japan. The name Hyperion is a catchy portmanteau of the words high and medical. Alright, looks like that should be doing much more fine to be well fortunate to have one unique ambulance has already added to the game as a promise to be available from here until now. So let's find out and have another Hyperion to be sent over to the garage. Okay? There's no need to have received collector points at this moment. So gonna have to take a good check and go stop by at Nissan to see some related scenes on escapes. But definitely, this will be quite very good to be additional to go expanded by having some number of scenes to go up into 36. But I'll have to go image by image to see that you guys really want to pick this one. But after all, Nissan is still popular to this day in Japan. And this one over here is the Nissan Tojiri testing area. But this one is very good to have a test course to have that good excellent scenery. Along with the usual, since Gran Turismo Sport is still yet to be available, but at the time, because expansion to have all kinds of different scenes and escapes is now being added up for this part of the update. But you see, this one is definitely might be quite very good to have a different scene image. But don't forget, there is also to have a good eye-catching on Polibrity Digital logo. Very good job and outstanding to see this testing area on Nissan to have a good place located in Toiji. So what's next? I bet there might be some new features to be on Escape Creation, but I'll have to make sure to come and take a good look after putting up to have a stop-by visit in sport mode. Alright, I'll have to save this spare part and then I'll have to catch up. Double times the earning, double times the goal in 2 events. Gran Turismo movie at Red Bull Ring for the Nissan GT-R Nismo GT3 2018 is now being received by 2 million, adding up with some more earnings. And that's not all, because Group 3 category at Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya Grand Prix layout is now being checked as well. So good, and having a total amount to go earnings in goal by exactly in 4 million credits. So Honda is now being official to become its first esports challenge event. Just like Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup, Mazda Spirit of Racing in Japan to be exclusive, and of course the Porsche esports. Hang on, let me try this again. So Honda is now being official to have a So Honda is now becoming the first official esports challenge is now being take place to be on the online time trial event. Just like Porsche Esports Challenge USA, Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup, and of course Mazda Spirit of Racing is now being exclusive in Japan. I'll have to take a good look. So we have 2 new events is now being available to be on the duration in about 30 days left. Suzuka Circuit and Nürburgring Nordschleife between the Honda Civic Type R 2022. But very good to be having a title to be known as Honda Racing EMS Fastest Attack 2023. But this one is now being served to have 2 types, the Challenge class and Under 17 class. But very much more fine, excellent opportunity to see how Honda is becoming the first official esports challenge to be having a good place to be here on the online time trial event. But the main record is now being shown to be highlighted on each part of the track. For Suzuka Circuit, by having a good, stunning, excellent, incredible by 2 minutes 23.120 seconds, and for the Nürburgring Nordschleife in 7 minutes 44.881 seconds. I bet you guys might gonna have to be here to be participate, but other thing for only one part of the selection in each 2 events to be exclusive to be taking a good part to be sponsored by Honda. But there is also to have one other thing. Two of them is now being required to have an application before being registered to be participate to have two Honda Esports Challenge is now actually to be doing a best eligibility, and one grand prize is now being announced after participate in two events on racetrack to the same Honda Civic Type R 2022. So I had to hold on to it and add this up later on for the next video, so I had to keep a good exact reminder because focusing on the update is all I need to be much more experienced to have some 3 cars to test out. So let's go to the World Circuits and have a good check lookout to have some new additional events after clear from menu book number 39. Gonna stop by at Grand Valley Highway 1. One event added on Race of Turbo Sports Car is now being initially to have a showcase image on the Nissan Skyline GTR R34 and Garage RCR Civic. That one is now being recently added. Other kinds of racetrack that needs to have brand new, along with Northern Iso Speedway, Special Stage Route X, Autodromo de Interlagos, and other kinds of brand new circuits that needs to have a patient time before next month. But I know you guys are really upset about the update that needs to have a brand new track. Maybe in October 2023 update, I guess? Well, maybe that might have the time and give your discussion and suggestions about when there's going to be a new track coming to Gran Turismo 7. Well, I bet you may have some questions and opinions that you might need to say for yourself. So, same event on Dragon Trail International Raceway is actually to be take place on Seaside on the forward direction in Race of Turbo Sports Car is now being additionally added. And then they will be having one event available on Mount Panorama Motor Racing Circuit for the World Touring Car 700. Just the only event what every Gran Turismo player needs. But the requests and requirements to have some suggestions about the update might need to have some endurance event like 24 hours of Le Mans, Spa, and Nürburgring. That would be quite very much more excited to see how you can handle to take one race in 24-hour endurance. But break times will be doing much more okay if you really need to take a relaxation and get back on session. So let's get down and do custom race to test out 3 new cars. It's all about FF layout to this moment because I'll have to start out to have an EG Honda Civic with a tuner car to be specifically made by Garage RCR. Let's go full course, and one other thing. I know the original logo is still in one piece for this current update before the updated logo is now being coming up soon. As you may have received from the GTWS showdown in Amsterdam for the Group 3 race, but this one is definitely might need to have a requirement for some environment changes, just like what Polypody Digital did to Fuji International Speedway. Very excellent and much more fine, fantastic out there to go putting up with some changes with some revamped environment. So I'll have to get down and do some custom race preparation to go underway. But I can't wait to see how the quick race menu is going to be putting up with some extra taste of surprise. Weather forecast is now being introduced to the update to be available on the PS4 and PS5. So going to put on equal condition mode and see how it turns out to find out. Other options and select vehicle from garage is now being called out to my Total Drama OC. Still good, and the group's all here. So let's go race and test out the EG Civic Tune car will be put up onto the FF layout to be on understeer. But as you may ever notice, because other kinds of variation for this EG Civic is now being related to have a Gran Turismo 1 and Gran Turismo 2 race modification, and even the red EG Civic driven by Shingo Shoshi from Initial G. I bet the logo on Suzuka Circuit remains, but at the time because let's have a good check to be featured on the weather radar. Wow, I cannot believe it. Did you ever see this part of the location on the map? This is very much more brand new to have a real life location and being zoomed in for having a half part of Japan. But there's Suzuka Circuit to be on the track logo is now being seen on display. But I bet that might have a good current time is now being shown to have a good excellent experience just like that you watch on the weather channel. But forecast for today is clear and sunny day because this one might have to take 30 seconds in current time that you might gonna have to keep a good lookout on the loading screen. But this one is very much more very brand new. So what else happened next if I really gonna have to do on rain? Maybe let's find out and see how it turns out to have light rain. Preset weather is checked. Now let's update on the settings and see how it goes. So let's check again. No sign of rain forecast around on the area. I guess every minute by minute because current time is still yet to have some few chances of rain. But eventually the conditions is about to be changed up differently, so let's give it a go and test out to have one session of the race. I'll have to take the 20th position, so here I go. Let's do this and test it to see this tuned Civic EG model. By the look of the interior view, this one is now actually to have a reduced amount with some parts on the inside is now actually includes for the one-seater that adds up with a reinforced roll bar cage and a different set of the steering wheel. Without having a default set on the Honda Civic in the EG model onto the steering wheel, but this one is now actually to have a different kind of the steering wheel that is actually built for tuners. But looks so cool, very excellent, and very capable to have the best time to have a showcase in the 2017 Gran Turismo Awards in SEMA. The drivetrain is very more efficient to be labeled as an FF layout, but cool vibration, so it'll have to go dancing to have an understeer FF challenge to step up and challenging with my OCs to have a practice session to go underway. Okay, danger clear. Gonna make my way to go overtake at Gash Fernandez. Rolling up and proceed on the way. Radar on the weather is gonna keep a good lookout in the meantime. So okay folks, by experiencing with a tuned Honda Civic EG model is very much more nostalgia, but very good classic to have a Japanese tuner car to be built in Japan and America to have a very good fine sport hatchback. But it'll have to be quite more competent to have some different set of variation that related to have some street racing vehicle. But this one is a masterpiece to have a professional tune car will be doing a good place to be on Suzuka Circuit. Gonna have to go roll by in 3 laps. Full stretch on number 6 spot. So I bet this update is about putting up with some good excellent surprise. One tuned Honda Civic in the EG model that will be quite giving a good opportunity to have some different features to be put up with some custom parts. But even the wide body made by Pandem is now actually to have a default set to be quite very good as a courtesy exclusive. But looks so cool by the way. But I can go understeer anytime, anyway. So now getting closer on Angela and Jenna in position 4 and 5. two of my Total Drama OC girls are actually to go at it to have a nice tuned vehicle, and brand new C is now going for having an S-turn corners. No sign of the fastest lap update. Gonna keep a good watchful eye. Okay, that's a good one. Step up by the pace, master the FF tune car, and then it'll be all good. But unfortunately, because the live stream is still in progress, because I have to keep a good watchful eye out on the blurry part, because that messed up the best part. Just like the Crew 2 during my WIP session after finishing from one live summon for this week. But unfortunately, because Dust to Dust is now being available since yesterday after finishing from the Rising Sun Strikes Back Again. But I'll have to be here because I just got everything mapped out and go on off-roading vehicle. But I'll have to save it later because 3 cars for having some brand new opportunities is calling for me, because one EG Civic is doing the masterful to have that different look. But even the wing style is very much more perfect to the EG Civic. But I kinda like it because it's very much more sporty hatchback as a street tuner car. Okay, looks like my 2 favorite girls are now coming in at the chicane, so my money is on Lexia. I hope she can win this. Mastering the Jaguar F-Type is very much more having a favorite type of performance. Rain's calling in. Final lap, here I come. Okay, gonna pull the brake. Expect concentration to stay forward. Okay, that's very good. Almost there. Try not to make one dent on my favorite OC's ride. First sector clear. Now proceed on sector 2. Coming in towards you, Jay Lee. I'm about to go slipstream and expect to have a cool vibration to be masterful to achieve your Ferrari F430. Gonna stay on track and catch up to her. Want Jay's sister really gonna go and bring home the podium. Okay, that's good. Understeer. Going a bit more pace increase. By the transmission gear, it can actually go up onto gear number 6, but stationally currently to be on the 5th gear is absolutely to be a much more speed up to be as a capable tuned vehicle. But heads up, gonna have to take one last step and go towards the chicane at the final turn. Yes, guess I have overtaken the princess of the Diamond Platinum, folks. Very good, excellent tuner finish. First place is well done. It'll be a very good honorable race, but this one is very good to be perfect to have a tuned Honda Civic EG model in Gran Turismo 7 to be welcome. But yet, because I know you guys really want to have a road-going variant to the EG Honda Civic. that would be quite very good to be having some good doppel prediction. Or I can say this, that we'll have to call it for having a car prediction to Gran Turismo 7. So I just took to be recently for having a good total time by over 7 minutes and 31 seconds. But even perhaps my Total Drama OC is the newest, is Arcadia Paradias. Well, he is actually a Greek person that he is experiencing to be as a duelist. Well, in that time, because having his strength with the Ori Calgros, that he's been having some struggles in his comment. Well, doesn't matter right now because I'll have to go for having an outcome result. So halfway there by 14 miles in today's driving marathon. So gonna have to go by replay. So give me a good picture perfect on the thumbnail. And there you go. Picture perfect on the thumbnail. One EG Civic, one replay coming up. So that would be quite doing much more fine condition out there to have some pop-up notice is now being shown on the sign. But only on the encore content video that is, because I might have to keep a good watchable eye on the live viewers during this part of the live stream session. So one car check by completed test, 2 to go, and I've already got it much more tested out there to have an extra thing to do this part of the update. But almost forgot about the Toyota Ambulance High Medic is very much more needed to be implemented on Brand Central to be available. But we still got it from the viewer predictions campaign from the GTWS. It's an A-OK and good to go. Next up, car number 2 tryout test is the Honda Civic Type R FL5 2022. Very much more fine perfectly and go proceed on the way to have a main part to do another session of the practice. However, because in the meantime, that will have to take one excellent opportunity to go on arcade race. So any condition to go by pick, or maybe I'll have to stick it to the custom race whenever I want to. Okay, now gonna have to load settings and choose one event by selection. But how about this will have to take the second time to go again since last month update, as I've been doing in tests in progress with dispenser cam characters, or maybe Total Drama characters that will be doing much more excellent to do some different ways and different planning. Kinda admit that will be doing much more fine and doing Total Drama World Car Series 450 all set and good to go. Entered, and car number 2 to be set and go underway. Now I may be quite very good to use onto the weather radar for this race menu is going to be quite very brand new. Over there's also the hab. Tokyo is now actually to be highlighted to be located right over here as the cursor is now being circled around onto this location. By zooming out in the hab country of Japan, but everything is going way wide larger to be quite very to be expected, and even zoom in as you may ever see any other track. Unlike any other location around the world is very much more fine, excellent to have a real life and fictional all together in Gran Turismo 7. So gonna have to be experienced and test out for the FL5 Honda Civic Type R that has a very good, excellent, stunning performance to go by around in over 300. So let's race and go for car tryout number 2 will be tested and experienced to have a brand new model just like the FK8 model. So let's give it a go and have a good look on the inside to this right hand interior view on the steering wheel. This looks so very different just like the FK8 model, but the lateral G's is now being seen to be using it when you're inside onto this detailed view. Kinda amazing, right? First time ever to see that kind of a car that features to have that stunning technology to go with lateral G's. But very vibration, but giving some good excellent steering response to be capable to be using as a GT500 spec version to be part on next year's Super GT season. So I have to keep it careful because I'm just gonna have to do this part of driving experience to test this new Civic out. But this one just actually come out from last year to see this brand new vehicle is very much more challenging, unlike the previous as a successor. So gonna have to go up, gear shift onto number 3 before going up onto 4. Gonna have to overtake Lorenzo in the Land Evo X. Watch out by the pace and stay carefully. Unlike all-wheel drive cars, but FF is putting up with some new challenges by adding up with some improved performance. We'll be going much more bit faster to have differences between understeer by the difference. However, because all-wheel drive and FF that might have an even match to go for having a dual battle showdown that we'll have to see how it tested and go all the way for having a good excellent top speed by around between in 125 and going around in 145 miles per hour. But actually, because that will be going much more further top speed average to go around in over 135 miles per hour. So gonna stay on track and make my way to get closer to Scott in the Dodge Viper SRT10. Yeah, that's a very good turbocharged Civic. First lap down, going proceed on lap number 2. Okay, gonna dive in. Technically, a new cool vibration to have a new Civic is all about making a perfect compact that could be quite going much more participate to be on touring cars. However, because it may be quite very correction and very good to be true. Custom parts to be featured onto this new Civic is also to be exclusively available on the GT Auto. Without the custom wing set, it'll have to go wingless, Type A and B altogether. So gonna have to go overtake at Courtney and Zoe. Next up, Sugar in position 6 in the BMW M4. Gonna give it a go and feel the understeer. The handling, respawn, and cornering is very much more improved to have that road going Civic is definitely might have some different ways to go lateral G's. So heads up, monitor surveillance alert because rain coming in at any minute. Just in time and have a good look to have some clouds are about to be covered the skies around in the track. It looks like party guy Jeb is in the lead in the Chevy Camaro along with Lashana in the Lexus LC500, followed by Justin in 3rd place. Now it'll have to go up on gear number 5. Gonna stay on track. Go by focusing with 2 Lexus and Aston Martin. But I still got a keep watchful eye on this part of the clip on the duration because blurry part may happen all the time. Final lap, up I go, slipstream and overtake. For Honda fans, this brand new Civic is all just for you. Perfect moment to go participate in the lap time challenges at the Nürburgring and Suzuka circuit itself that I'm about to be currently using it. But speaking of which, because a matter of time to go practice, because doing exercise is going to be a bit more practice and challenging to get there. Alright, gonna have to stay on track and get closer to Justin and Jeff. They still got a lot of better horsepower to see how two of them can actually to take up with a brand new Civic. It'll be more challenging and see how the FR is gonna get more oversteer to see the FF will do the understeer by the action. Haha, nice try. Oh, I can see some braking pressure to stay on hold. Justin's in the lead, Jeff's in second, and still in the third. Gonna have to keep pushing. Make that good efficient and brake onto the spoon curve. Okay, that's a good one. But more importantly, that I just already took the lap time by 2 minutes, 36.171 seconds. That will be doing much more fine, perfect to do a practice session to go for having a lap time trial event. But here comes the final lap. Come on, just gonna have to take home the final stretch. He's already took home the podium, folks. And Justin takes the win. Alright, looks like practice complete for the new Civic. Very good to see how the FR always dominate to this day. But more importantly perhaps, it'll have to go way more faster to add up with some more parts to go challenging and tires to be more improved specifically. But I'll have to take second place, that is. Very more impressive and doing some new experience to have a good Honda Civic to go brand new. So my appraisal rating for the FL5 2022 is good to be 100% complete. But after all, experiencing to have new cars for the update is always about to have something else to test your skill, your potential, and experience to see which one of the three cars that you like the most. But not yet at least, because the third one is going to be having a Group 4 competition as I'm about to go with a Mazda 3 Group 4. So I'll have to skip this part on the replay for having a thumbnail image. There you go. Thumbnail picture perfect is complete on car test number 2 for this update, and then replay will be saved as well. But unfortunately, because that might have to do a third one to be ever yet, as I'm about to be going experience with the Mazda 3 Group 4 is actually based from the road going variation from the May update. But talk about having a good, excellent reminder notice as I'm about to go enter to be at High Speed Ring. So let's go over there and go for the GT Cup Group 4 edition to be tested and go for having a one selection on the Mazda 3 Group 4. But one last thing, because it'll have to add up with the power restrictor and the ballast will have to be on the main requirement to be on the adjustment. So go on the detailed settings and have a good check, because this will have 6-speed transmission to go by default as a Group 4 car. 380 horsepower might be quite very good to have an improved performance point, but however, you'll have to go by tuning into at least 630.8 performance point to be on the reduced amount. So you'll have to go tune by tune, see how it works comfortable. Alright, all set and good to go. Then let's have a good test and go for 5 laps. As for Mazda fans who have been experienced about the Mazda 3 Group 4 car, as you may ever see from this part of the Mazda Spirit Racing competition, is now being shown on the leak image. But that would be quite very true, and this might have a new addition to the Mazda Group 4 car along with the Atenza. But 2 Group 4s in one Mazda brand is actually to have a good shareable type between Group 3 and Group 4 cars is perfectly all together by having 2 selections per class. So let's have a good check on the weather radar on High Speed Ring. Way much more interesting to have a good place to be seen on this location up north of Japan. Very fantastic. So gonna have to zoom out and zoom in, but clearly each part of the location on track around the globe is definitely might have an image view is now currently to be seen. But thank you Liberty Digital. This update is now being shown on the weather radar for having a good excellent opportunity to see some lookout between onto the clear skies and cloudy with a few chance of rain. So let's give it a good test and give it a go and see how the Mazda 3 will have to go FF racing action to face up with some FR, MR, and all-wheel drive. For this interior view, the Mazda 3 is now becoming as a race car for having a Group 4 regulation. Newest addition to be part on GT7 as excellent to see how the Mazda Atenza would be more likely to take on with the same car on the Mazda 3. But skills are made to do it because FF cars is definitely the key of understeer. But you know something else that has a good set of customization on GT Auto? The Mazda 3 is now actually to be included to have some different set of wing style by going wingless, Type A, and Type B all together to see some differences we'll have to go in different update by performance. That's how, just like the Nissan Silvia S15 touring car, but that wing part is actually to have a good sporty hatchback is still yet to be used before becoming as a touring car vehicle. The style, the competition, and some changes onto the interior view is now being converted into a GT4 race car is perfectly to have a FF car to this moment. So it'll have to go faster to stay on track to be proceed on lap number 2. Gonna go hard and beat oversteered cars to go at it. Okay, there we go. Turn 2 to go perfectly. So BMW M4 and McLaren 650S Group 4s might have to stay together. It may be packed with a turbocharge is now being included. It'll have to go enter to have an understeer to have a nice way to go for the perfect line. That's how you guys might gonna have to use this one for the GTWS Manufacturers Cup is gonna be a very good time to go for round 2 at Dragon Trail Seaside by the reverse direction. So I'll have to stay on track and catch up to the GT5 Citroen and BMW M4 in the Group 4 cars. Very made as Gran Turismo original, but it may be quite very good to have a nice Mazda Spirit Racing livery to go in official white. Come on, just gonna have to get closer and make my way on to first. Go for turn 2 and take it to the understeer. Come on, just gonna keep going and field the master for this third Mazda. Whenever you're gonna master the Mazda 3 Group 4, now's the time and practice for the GTWS Manufacturers Cup if you already have the Mazda Atenza Group 4 to give your best choice, your best pick, and your best excellent performance on drivetrain. All-wheel drive and FF, that would be quite very good to be in common between the Atenza and Mazda 3 in the same Group 4 car. Different technology of racing competition, and that will be a very good newest addition to the Group 4 category. Unlike the road car, but perfectly to have a nice racing car that features to have a wing customization is now yet to be in used. So gonna have to keep going on the straight after turn 2. Almost there. I got to bring home the podium and beat the BMW M4 in the FR layout. Let's see how the FF can actually get to go hard and bring home the podium. But it'll have to go harder than this. It needs to have more speed and acceleration. So far so very close, but this one considers as a third car test. But not yet over, because I'm getting closer to the final lap. Let's kick it to the high gear and go back into the first position to have a nice excellent grip to be on the understeer advantage. Hold it in. Hard turn on the left at turn 2. As you may ever check on the record time to be cleared for only one lap, you may see the total time on the fastest by the average or your best time that you might gonna have to keep your progress on racing. That's how this interior view is stunning and very brand new, unlike the Atenza Group 4. But the time progression is now actually to be shown by having a real time. But that will be quite very good to be amazed to see how you can master and experience with the Mazda 3 Group 4. So almost there. Make my way to the final stretch. Gonna pack up the RPM, and first place is now to be claimed. That is so fantastic to see the FF dominate at high speed ring in the GT Cup Group 4 edition. Unlike any other FF cars, but hopefully that would be going more likely to see if the Volkswagen Scirocco, Peugeot RCZ Group 4, and even of course to have some all-wheel drives like the Subaru WRX Group 4 and Genesis G70 Group 4. But after all, FF cars are looking for a new challenger, and that will be quite very good to be amazed and have a good stunning of perfection. So first place is now being achieved and complete. One clean race is now being served, and looks like roulette ticket is now being complete. So I had to skip the replay for another captured thumbnail image, but hopefully it was a lot of fun out there to experience with the Mazda 3 Group 4, unlike the road car version is still very good. From an all-wheel drive to an FF for competition is actually to be having a good perfect use for only one make race series, and even of course to be exclusive to be take part in the GTWS Manufacturers Cup. So I guess 3 new cars are now being well done, because I have been tested out with a Toyota Hyperion for a while since having some ongoing progress for having a lap time challenge. But anyhow, because it was so fantastic to have this update. Is very much more experience to have a new ways and location on the weather radar in the race menu is now actually to be introduced. So I hope this is going to be quite giving a one-stop buy for this update. 2 brand new menu is now being stopped at the GT Cafe. So let's have a good check and see some character interactions is now actually to be well shown on the Gran Turismo website. So let's go on the extra menus to scroll down. Here we have extra menu number 29 is Porsche Supercars and extra menu number 30 is GR. Initially stands for Gazoo Racing made by Toyota. So very good to have 3 Porsche Supercars and 3 Toyota Gazoo racing vehicles like the GR Yaris, GR Colora, and GR 010 Hybrid. Acquired, check, and waiting for having a highlight to be brand new. So I hope this is going to be quite good to have a heads up notice before heading back to the GT garage to have a surprise notification from Sarah. But reaching up by over 300 cars, that is, that would be quite good to be established to continue on. How absolutely amazing! Hyperion-Blue-GT, your car collection now contains 400 cars. Sweet! 400 cars is coming in a long way for having a long progress. So far so good, because you'll have to keep collecting more by 100 more to go. Why not go and check them out in all their glory? It's quite the sight. This should be definitely earned you bragging rights around your friends. I think everyone's going to be blown away by the collector you become. Indeed that is, Sarah. Indeed that is. So, 4 new cars is now actually to be having some good progress to come in a long way by over a year later. So, by 400 cars, and that means I just currently to be having 402 vehicles collected. Just to have a few more vehicles to go to be unregistered to be on the car index. So let's have a good check on the Honda Civic Type R, Type FL5 2022. Driving feels comes first. The legendary R badge returns for the 11th generation Civic. I guess that would be quite very true because this FL5 Honda Civic is now actually to become as the 11th generation. Because this vehicle has now actually just keep evolving all the way. So very legendary to see this Civic is now putting up to have a 2-door, is now being considered as a 4-door sports car to have a nice modern Japanese vehicle. Because all that work, performance, and the Type R engine is still yet to have a nice inline 4 20C unit with a 2.0 liter turbocharge. It still have much more perfectly to be participate for having first ever Honda Esports Challenge is now going to be available on the lap time event. So on to the Mazda 3 Group 4. Exploring the potential of internal combustion, a next generation biodiesel powered race car. Very true, because on the description, this Mazda 3 Group 4 is a Gran Turismo original model, aesthetically based on the Super Taiiku spec race car, is very more successful to the Mazda 3 bio concept. But it is actually to become as the Mazda 3 bio concept car is the next generation biodiesel race machine, created, developed for real world testing in the 2023 Super Taiiku Endurance Race Series. But this one on the performance engine has now actually to have a 2.2 liter Skyactiv D unit. 100% biodiesel made from used cooking oil. I kind of say because that is very more impressive to see this Group 4 car is becoming a biodiesel race car for the first time ever in automotive history. And oh yeah, I might gonna have to check the details on the Chevy Cobra 427 1966 from yesterday, as I just went down to do some progress and save it of course to be on my Twitter account. Now for the Garage RCR Civic, a Time Attack Civic customized in the classic JDM style. So very good tuner and base model from the EG Honda Civic. But I bet you guys still thinking about the real car version to this Honda Civic in the EG model. It has more professional tune and Gran Turismo award that has 589.79 performance point in the FF drivetrain layout. So impressive, and even perhaps to have some differences to put up with some different set of custom parts, and except the wide body is still yet to be remain is currently as well. Well, I kind of say this, folks. What a hard day and productive for having a main part to go for this encore content video, but I'll have to take care of it myself because development is a development for the September 2023 update, as I had to go down for having some major changes and development on my own. So what do you guys think about the update to have 3 new cars? It's all about FF drivetrains for having a good masterpiece collection. Real car, tuner car, and race car all together. 2 Hondas and 1 single Mazda in the Group 4 category is designed for the competition. So give your thoughts, questions, and even some more comments to think about these kinds of 3 vehicles. But yet, I might have to keep going and stay on track to go wrap this up at the end of the video. But in the meantime, during this part of the WIP session from here until now, I'll have to make sure and go all the way to have a main forward to have some major ongoing development for myself, as the struggle will have to keep pushing, as the tables will have to turn. So I'll have to leave it to myself as always, but this update, and yet of course because one other thing, 5 new set of the engine on every 5 Porsche vehicle is now being available on the GT Auto. So I had to take a good look because it's about to get much more pretty interesting and surprising to have 5 specific Porsche vehicle is now compatible on engine swap. So you guys might gonna try it out and see how it feels. But looks like September is about to come to an end after finishing with Total Drama Pocketail Island team variations with Floating Salmon and Confused Bears, and then Total Drama Island reboot in 2023 is coming up until September, so keep an eye out, folks. Development and early access is going to be available on my Patreon page. Thank you for enjoying watching the video on Gran Turismo 7. I hope you enjoyed. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel for a like, comment, and click the bell for notification on upcoming content videos if you'd like to see. Don't forget to check it out on any social media platforms like Deepnet Art, Instagram, Twitter, GT Planet, Discord, and more to see for my own image artwork like UDRS Libris, Vision Total Drama fan art with card Libris, and more whenever you're welcome at any time. I'll be seeing you guys next time on Gran Turismo 7, and I look forward to see you again in the next video. Keep on racing, stay clean.